Yo, what is up guys? I'm bringing you a brand new video, and this time I have for you today the start of a brand new series, my 700 gear score in 110 days EU challenge. My goal in this video is to demonstrate how I'm going to be going from a brand new seasoned graduate all the way to 700 gear score in 110 days, and I plan to do it with no RNG involved other than very minor things, but I won't be enhancing my own gear. I will be purchasing everything, and I also plan to do it in a very limited amount of pay to win. The upper limit of what I'm spending on this challenge is $60, and that is the maximum. So I will only be buying $60 worth of pearls, as well as the game pass for the game, which did come with 4,000 pearls, will be the upper limit of everything I'll be spending. And part of the challenge is I want to make sure that I have an infinite HP pot by the end. I also want to have 305 AP at a minimum, so that I'm not sort of cheesing with a DP build that's very cheap. And I also want to make sure that my build is relevant for large-scale PvP. That is my main goal, is to be relevant in large-scale PvP, all while doing so with no enhancing involved. But before I tell you how I'm going to do it, I want to show you guys where I currently am at as a starting point for this challenge. I will be starting this today, and I'll be doing an episodic series where every single week I will do an update on where I'm at and what I've done, and, you know, sort of the progression over the next 15 to 16 weeks as I complete this challenge. So where I am currently at is I have full Pen Tuvala. I've completed the season, and I am a season graduate, and I took the Pen Kaposia necklace. And essentially, I have 0 journals done because that is part of it. So I haven't done Igor's or any of these journals. So basically, I'm a fresh account. I still have access to the Olvia servers until January the 8th. So I am as new can get. I plan to do the series on Succession Zerker because it's a class I'm most familiar with, and it's also one of the best grinders. In terms of where I'm currently at in terms of the pearl purchases, I have gotten the following things. I bought a Napart campsite. So this campsite was on sale when I purchased it. I also bought a Last Call Black Friday pack, and that's mostly for the loot scrolls. The loot scrolls are going to be a big problem in this series for me, so getting as many as I can to start is really good. I used 485 pearls to buy this New Adventure Cute Pet Pack. This gave me 2 Tier 1 pets. I bought a Celestial Horn, which was only 450 pearls. That's just a convenience item. I bought a Polar Bear. I ended up paying 800 pearls for this Tier 3 Polar Bear, and that was because of a 20% coupon. I also bought a New Adventure Starter Pack. This was only 370 pearls, and the price was 7,450, so it was on sale, like, by a lot. And it came with 3 pets, as well as some loot scrolls and some discount coupons and whatnot. And this right here was the $60 in pearls that I spent it on. This is available for every new player. It's a 1+1 pearl box. So the 4,000 pearls I got for purchasing the game, as well as the 13,200 pearls from this particular package, is all the pearls that I'll be spending. And so, as well as these items here, I also bought the season pass, which I did the season pass and got some really nice rewards from that. And I also bought the Friday special deal each Friday for the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks. I think it was 4 actually. And I have been buying the Black Friday daily support pack. Reason why is it gives me 2 loot scrolls for 185 pearls, which is a pretty decent price. And once again, loot scrolls kind of a big problem for me. So that's everything I've bought in pearl wise. Now, in addition to those pets that I purchased, the Tier 3 Polar Bear, this 370 pearl pack that gave me 3 pets, I also did a couple random little events. I did an event where there was fishing and you got a cuckoo bird. I also got the login special Young Griffin. I did the quest line to complete the season pass all the way to Media, which gives you several pets. And I've essentially brought my pets up to full suite of Tier 3s with 1 Tier 5. And that's really all I'm going to need for this particular challenge. I really only spent, I would say, like 800 plus 495. Like I spent under 1,500 pearls in order to get where I'm currently at. The game really gives you a lot of pets throughout the season pass, throughout the attendance rewards, the events that they do, the codes that they do for Heidel Ball and Kelfion Ball, and they just throw pets at you. It was so easy to get this many pets. I didn't really have to think about it. So they've really done a great job in lowering the barrier to entry of having to pay to win these pets, and hats off to them for that. Additionally, in terms of where I'm at for my fairy, I got very lucky on my fairy. This is probably the biggest feat of RNG that it's going to be possible in this series, but I got a tier 3 fairy, which I then spent about 600 mil on materials from the market in order to guarantee it up to a tier 4. And along the way, I ended up learning Miraculous tier 5, which is super RNG carried. Everything else doesn't really matter. Miraculous tier was amazing. I wanted any Miraculous tier just for grinding. I don't think it's going to really speed up my progress in the series a lot. It's just a humongous quality of life that I'm very happy to have. And in terms of where I'm at cash-wise, I have 5 billion silver. And this 5 billion silver is really just an accumulation of money that I have gotten from selling literally everything from the season pass, selling literally everything that I've ever gotten from any coupon code or attendance reward. And then a big one is there's a ton of first time completion dungeon rewards for doing the season dungeon. And I ran Ataraxian and Socracia, and it gave you like 6 chests or more. I can't even remember. It was a lot. And I took those and I basically liquidated all of that. And it ended up becoming like 4 billion silver or something like that, just from random chests that I opened. I didn't even get that lucky on them. I got like prize stuff. I didn't even hit like a try or a duo or anything crazy. So the season dungeon is pretty insane with what it gives you. Now, you might also notice that I have 1,670 Caphras. One of the main things that I did when starting this challenge is I joined a guild right away. And the reason that I joined a guild is to take advantage of the Node War shops. So every day I've been taking advantage of the Node War shop. I buy the Glorious Box of Spoils, which gives you some dust and some hards and some sharps. I buy the box of 50 Caphra stones, as well as a loot scroll. I buy that every single day that I can, which is helped me a lot to accumulate 230 loot scrolls now over the course of 30 days. They obviously didn't all come from that, but 30 of them did, or maybe about 20 something of them did. But I also got loot scrolls from the season pass, lots of loot scrolls from that. Obviously, I showed you my pearl purchases. I bought, several loot scrolls from those daily packs, and then also just loot scrolls that they give you through coupon codes as well as attendance rewards. So that's where I'm currently at in regards to loot scrolls. And I think you guys pretty much have all of the information you need as to what I currently have in terms of gear and money. Now let's talk about my strategy as to what I'm going to be doing in order to complete this series. So, number 1 is completing the adventure logs is very, very important. I put a whole bunch of orders on things already. Like I bought different ores, I've bought, different coral and beds and all that stuff. I put a whole bunch of orders on things. Some things still have not purchased, but that was one of the first things I did in order to complete Deve's Encyclopedia. Second, another thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to do the Zarka weekly for the 5 weeks in order to get the 1 AP and the 1 DP. I also plan to do the weekly every single week at Forest Roneros in order to get the 5 pity pieces for the infinite HP potion. And I also plan to, for the most part, grind at Blood Wolves in order to get the infinite HP pieces. So I need to do that, as well as Shurikhan Necropolis. I need to grind here at nighttime because it is simply just the best way to get the infinite HP potion from here. And I'll see where I'm at, but from there I'll probably grind Centaurs as well as then go into Socracia. So these are going to be like the main spots that I'm going to start off at in this series. Outside of doing all the adventure logs right away, I also plan to do the Magnus. Magnus is huge. It's going to give me some Pen Begs gloves. And it's also going to give me the access to the, ability to use storages. And it's just like a very important thing that I think is worthwhile to do just for general quality of life. Also, as I was doing a random, I did like a Polly's Forest thing for the Jatina. I plan to get the Jatina accessory. I ended up getting a pure Blackstone. I don't know when I'm going to use that or if I'm going to use it or just let it expire, but you're wondering about that. These are from Jay's special box from the Heidel ball codes. So I have that. Got some other things that I bought for the for Deed's Encyclopedia. But let's talk about the gear that I want to get. So the gear that I want to get is as follows. I want to get a Pen Narc and a Pen Rhoneros, and that's all the pen accessories I'm really going to need outside of these Capocias. And I also want to get a Pen Offen C19, as well as a Pen Nuver C7, and I plan to buy my Fallen God and plan to buy my Libresca. Now, just to, I guess, satisfy a couple criticisms that you guys may have of this build is, first of all, it's only 690 gear score. Well, effectively as a succession player, there's a very useful trick that you can use in order to become even stronger than if this was just a Pen Dandy. And that is by Cafris level 19ing a Tri-Dandy. This costs about the same as a Pen Dandy, but it gives you 12 accuracy, whereas a Pen Dandy gives you 0. And because most of my damage as a succession player comes from my main hand, it actually makes this the second best item in the game, behind that of a Pen Black Star or like a C20 Pen Dandy, but at a very significant lower amount of cost. So this build, this is like as good as you could possibly get in a budget succession build. So I don't think that this is a cop-out. I would wear this all the way up. If I was only a succession player, I wouldn't get a Pen Black Star until I was full Pen accessories with Pen Deberekas and Tet Fallen God and like everything before I would ever consider replacing this dandy for anything other than a Pen Black Star. So I don't think it's a compromise at all. I think it's one of the smartest ways to build a succession player, succession account. Now, another thing is Pen Rhoneros ring. A Pen Rhoneros ring is not an optimal ring for most people starting out, but because I'm already 305 AP, it's a pretty normal thing to be building more DR past 305 AP because I've already hit the upper bracket of where I'm going to be doing a lot of damage. And so I don't really need to do anything other than get a little bit more tanky after I hit 305. Ideally, you can hit 316 and all that stuff, but that can come later. For now, I think that 305 AP is enough for me to kill pretty much everybody in one combo and a 1v1. I will struggle with evasion players that are way more geared than me, but, no build that's, 700 gear score is going to be able to deal with 740 evasion gear score type players. Another criticism is the Offen. Offen is a very good weapon to hit 305 for cheap. I will eventually replace this for a Black Star, but I think that the Offen starting out, it only costs like 6 billion silver to get Pen, and it can be Cafris for pretty expensive. This is like my most expensive item. It's going to be 100 bill. It can be Cafris, though, that gives you a ton of AP and helps me hit 305. Otherwise, I'd have to get like a Pen accessory. So it's going to serve a very important purpose. And eventually, when I do sell this Offen for a Black Star, I will be able to extract the Cafris during a Cafris extraction event and put those Cafris into my offhand, my gloves, and my boots, and only really lose the tax on a 6 bill item. It's not that big of a deal. So I think it's going to serve a very important purpose. Do I think that it is the best in slot weapon? No, I don't. But I think that it is the best in slot weapon for how much this build costs, which is 340 bill. So, I could replace it with a Black Star and get another Pen accessory, but that boosts up the price to nearly 400 bill. And it effectively is only helping me against evasion players, which I'm already going to be struggling against evasion players anyway. So I don't really see a point in stressing too much about it for the confines of this challenge. So this is the gear I'm going for. That is the justification. And I plan to do this all in under 110 days. You guys know the path on what I plan to do. Plan to do that weekly, plan to get the Infinite Pot, plan to go Centaurs. I probably will go Kertuga to get some artifacts as well along the way. I need to do my journals, and I need to do the Zarka weekly, the 1 AP and the 1 DP, and then pretty much live at Sakraya. I need to do my Jatina as well every single day. The Pen Narc in my build will be a Jatina Narc, and I have the Pen Kaposia necklace already. I also plan to participate in the season that starts today. So that way there I can buy the season pass and get even more loot scrolls, because loot scrolls are going to be probably the biggest bottleneck throughout this whole series. Another thing I want to do on a week-to-week basis is I want to do the dungeon. Every single week, I want to get a party together, and I want to do both Ataraxia and Sakrakia. And if I have a good enough team that can do Yolanakia consistently, I'll also do Yolanakia. Other than those things, it's really going to just require me to play about 6 hours a day, grind 6 hours a day in order for me to complete these goals, and make sure that every single day I am purchasing from the Node War shop. The Caphra Stones, this is going to give me a very solid amount of Caphra Stones in order to boost up my armors to C9 and my offense up to C19. And everything else is going to be bought directly off the market. So, I don't want this video to drone on, but it is going to be a weekly upload schedule for this series where I go through and I tell you everything that I've done in the past week. That way there in the future, when you guys want to look back on everything that I did in the order that I did it, you can find these videos as a resource. But this is the start of the series. 110 days is the time limit, and hopefully I can complete it. I don't see why I can't. I did all the math, and everything should be totally completable. I'm going to be working really hard on this, guys. So it's not going to be a super easy series, and it is a very fast amount of time, but what I set to prove in this series is that 700 gear score is not really as hard as it once was in the past, and pay to win in this game is really not as crazy high as everyone makes it out to be. Buying the Game Pass, $60 in pearls, and I'm going to get to the top 5% of all players in the game in literally just over 3 months. So I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be streaming a lot of this on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/choice. Weekly update videos every single week on YouTube. So, hope you guys are looking forward to it. And I will see you guys all next week on YouTube for an update as to what happened in this future week, but the past week. You guys will be able to see everything every step along the way. So, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thanks for watching, and peace.